What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to more Black Desert. So today is going to be a special video because today was patch day and there was a lot of changes for Dark Knight. Usually with patch notes I figure everyone can just read them, but I want to go over and give my opinions on the whole Dark Knight changes, which I thought were really cool. Also, they added a new feature in this game. Well, I guess it's a feature even though it's nothing technical changed. You can see your drop rate now. So 100 is default, 300 is maximum. So we'll be testing that out a little bit later when we actually grind places, and we'll see how high we can stack it up to 300 and see where it goes from there. But I assume 100 by default, another 100 with loot scroll, so that's 200, 250 for tent buff, and then if you're using anything else like a scroll of whatever these scrolls are, Dragon's Blessing or the gold scrolls, that'll be like 250 and up, and then whatever other bonuses. So we'll see. We'll mess with the numbers. This one doesn't count towards it, right? It just hold on. Okay, yeah, so we have 100 by default, 19 from ecology and whatnot, so you get another 10% if you have over 7,000, which you do, plus ecology, which is another bonus. So we'll mess around with those numbers. And Arsha's not applied. All right, anyway, the thing we got to do or look at today is the patch notes for Dark Knight. That's mostly the thing we're gonna look at, so let me get this set sorted. All right, so first of all, we have Prime Lunacy of Vadir. Couldn't lock the skill. I know you can't really see it in game, but we're just gonna look over it because there's no other way to position these patch notes while having the skill thing open. So anyway, what's important? Lunacy of Vadir, you couldn't lock the skill, now you can, cool. Prime Airstrike, changed the guard gauge extra damage on hits effect to now be applied to hit on hits with succession. Shadow Bullet, my god, that was a hard sentence to read. Fix the issue where the description on how the guard gauge extra attack effect is only applied on the first hit and for one target. Prime Wheel of Fortune, changed the crit rate to also be applied in PvP, that's good. Succession added a phantasmal snare. This is actually an ability that I've been trying to play around with a little bit more because it allows you to move more, and it's it was a little bit clunky because it takes a little bit of time for the animation and I wasn't really sure how to cancel it, but I think they changed a little bit of that. Prime Obsidian Ashes made the changes as followed. Projectile was to move more quickly. The skill was improved to combo with Chain Dusk or in regular Dusk, and Succession changed the snare that affects to explode immediately upon activation. This one itself I thought was pretty good. Fixed an issue where only the Chain Dusk wouldn't be activated using the skill from a location on the low elevation. Dude, terrain in this game is probably one of the biggest things that destroys skills, and that's not even just Dark Knight, that's like every class. So that's good. Soul Snatch, this is an ability that I don't really use that much, but if it's changed, let's see how it goes. Change the skill demo. It's basically use a skill and then combo it with something. It's not an individual skill, so. Black Spirit, you're basically 100% Grip of Grudge. That one is this one. Let me see, what Awakening. Grip of Grudge is something I use very specifically in PvP. Hold on, So this is an ability I use specifically for PvE. I don't really use it too much in PvP. It just helps me pull mobs better because this is how it looks. Let me go outside. So when you have that, oh, hold up. Okay, so that's what it looks like. It just helps pull mobs together, and I think they reduced the cooldown from 10 seconds to 6 seconds, so that like helps it a lot. So that's good. Let's go back to the patch notes. Spirit Blaze, I don't really use much, but I feel like I should be using it more. Increase the attack and PvP damage reduction. I don't actually know if this one is good or bad, to be honest. Like, I see damage numbers like this, and it seems good, but PvP damage remains the same. Does it really, though? The flow remains the same. Cool. I think this is more just like a PvE ability, to be honest. That's like... It's really hard to get Spirit Blaze off in PvP, mostly because of the way it works, so I feel like that. So... Okay, so this is how it works. It's down RMB, and then you see how that's the flow. You do the first swing, and then the flow is the second one, right? Now, the way you could get it to work is if you could hotkey the Spirit Blaze, but I've never really tested it, so let's test it now. If you want to just skip the second phase, you could do that. I feel like this is an ability you should really hotkey, because if you do the individual one, like that, there's one, your main, and then flow. And that is just like the slowest ability. And it's not really... It's a down attack, but it doesn't seem like it. It feels like that should be a stiffen more than anything, but I mean, I'm not complaining. I don't care. With how slow it is, it's not even a protected ability, which I feel like I would value a protection more than like any extra damage. Protection, but anyway, it's good for PvE. I don't use it in PvP much because it's just slow. Like, if you do this, guess what's happening? Someone just comes up to you and just grabs you and you're dead. So that's kind of a weird change they added, but I mean, it's buffed in a way, so sure, for now. All right, so Grip of Grudge, good change. Spirit Blaze, PvE buff. Flow, I feel like you should hotkey to flow instead, just because using the individual down RMB is a little bit wonky. Grip of Grudge, cooldown from 10 to 6 seconds. That's good. It's I use it in PvP to pull things, so if it has you can use it more often. It's good. Added a critical hit rate plus 50% applied in PvE only. Sure, I don't think anyone ever really used that for damage, but I guess that's a buff. Cluster of Despair, Soul Snatch, improved to combo with Grip of Grudge. Dude, that's a huge thing. This one is probably a huge buff that you really only notice if you use the skills. Now, I tried using it, Grip of Grudge into Cluster, so let's actually test it a little bit. Grip of Grudge into... It feels smoother. I don't know. It's like, it's one of those things that you don't really think about, but I guess it feels smoother. I've definitely missed a cluster before because I haven't gotten it. We have command keys. Command keys were changed. Cluster. LMB, RMB. So this is what it was by default. RMB during skill to RMB. Oh, okay. Let's see this. Okay, so if we use this, we could hold. Oh, okay. So this is what I did before. Shift F and then RMB or left mouse, right mouse. Now you don't have to do that. I mean, you could still do it, and I guess it would work. But what I did before was usually for the time. I've always used a combo in Dark Nebula into Cluster. So let's see if that works as well. That's a. It didn't get changed, but I guess it works now. That's cool. So that's a huge change for Cluster of Despair, which is a very strong ability. I actually have an add-on for that you guys can see as well, so I'll show that later. Cluster of Despair is a lot easier to use. Very good. Good change. That's a huge change, actually. Cluster of Despair added crit rate plus 50 for PvE only. Don't really think that it was primarily a damage skill. It's just like adds on to flows, which does more damage. But I mean, if it does more, it does more. Cool. Black Spirit, Spirit Legacy, 1 to 3. Change the skill damage. It didn't say the PvP damage was going to be roughly the same as before, so I'm gonna have to test this a little bit later. But attack damage in PvE, in theory, is higher. All right, well, that's basically all the Dark Knight abilities. So overall, I think it was a good change. Cluster of Despair being one of the biggest changes they added. In terms of Grip of Grudge, it's more a PvE thing. Same with Spirit Blaze, which I think are good changes. I think the best ones were probably Grip of Grudge cooldown from 10 to 6 seconds. That's fantastic. Cluster of Despair command keys that got 1 less button. So fantastic change. And I think one other one, where did I read it? It was the ability to combo smoothly. That is a huge change. And everything else. They added snare, which I thought was good. So that's cool. So with that said, those are the Dark Knight changes. I thought they were pretty good. It makes Dark Knight slightly easier. I don't know if it does more damage or not, but it's something I'll test over time. And yeah, so good changes. And I will see you guys next time. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoy the patch notes, I could always read it when I think there's something important, but otherwise, usually I'm just like, oh, everyone can just read it on their own time. But when it comes to things I care about, like Dark Knight stuff, then I'll definitely make a video of it, and then some other changes that I thought were also pretty neat. So overall, hope you enjoyed it. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.